It's March Madness QB edition here on Ref the District. Today we've got your number one matchup, Jayden Daniels versus your number 8, Sam Hartman. Who do you got? Let's go. Greetings and salutations and welcome to Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. That's the Stoner, and March Madness is upon us, and we decided to take a little bit of that basketball action and bring it to the Washington Commanders and breaking down the QBs that they could potentially select. Sam Howell is gone. Marcus Mariota is in, and I think Jake from State Farm might still be around and not selling insurance just yet. Now, Stoner, we have the number 2 pick. It's expected Washington is going to stay there and pick a QB. And I know that's what a lot of us would like them to do. That being said, Adam Peters has thrown us a couple curveballs during this entire process of free agency. And we've seen the Sam Howell trade, which was, while expected, the value that he got out of that was pretty impressive. So I wanted to sit there and maybe look at some of these quarterbacks that may be somebody who Adam Peters would like and maybe take in a later round than that second overall pick. So that's why we're going to be here to do this, because right now I would say realistically at the number 2 pick, we've got maybe 3 choices, 4 if you include Caleb Williams, who we're not including in this, because Caleb Williams is likely going to be gone by the time Washington picks. And so maybe we'll do a matchup later of the winner of this bracket versus Caleb Williams and whether or not it's worth it to move up to get Caleb Williams. We'll see how these videos do and how this goes. So that's kind of the premise behind it, Stoner, because, you know, we wanted to look at these in a different way, right?
I mean, it's March Madness and everybody's got their brackets out for the basketball tournament. Everybody's looking at who they're going to pick to go all the way to the Final Four. And we thought, well, let's just take the top 8 quarterbacks, really the top 9 minus Caleb Williams. Because like you said, he's going to be the number 1 pick in Chicago, all but confirmed that with their trade of Justin Fields. So let's look at who Washington's options are in the 2 through 9. So for us, that'll be, of course, 1 through 8 in this bracket, if I haven't confused you enough. Basically, we're breaking it down in a bracket style argument, if you will, about who will be the number 2, who we want to be the number 2 pick overall for Washington. And speaking of brackets, though, last year, you know, I had a fantastic bracket. I had San Diego State in the final game. I actually had them winning it all, and then, of course, they lost. But what day and time is Oklahoma playing? Just curious.
Okay.
I didn't look at the bracket. I found my 2 teams. I found Michigan State. I found when they're playing. I found Florida when they're playing. And I'm just curious what time and when Oklahoma's playing.
Yeah, they're waiting for next season. The ladies are doing pretty well, though, but we're not here to talk about the basketball. And we can talk trash, and we probably will be talking trash come Wednesday as we have our live show. So make sure you join us there. If you like our content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on this in audio, make sure that you leave us a rating and review. And if you're into March Madness, hey, it's going on right now. You filled out your bracket, but maybe you like a little side action, and that little side hustle can happen right over at Bet Online, where you can use the code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get yourself a 50% welcome bonus, and that will help you start off on the right path. Not just March Madness, NFL action is going to be happening soon enough. You can possibly even make bets about who's going to be drafted where. Maybe you want to get into that baseball or hockey action, and Mike Tyson's about to beat the heck out of one of those Paul brothers. So you can also bet on that as well. Bet Online, where the game starts. And let's get going with our number 1 versus number 8 matchup. Jayden Daniels here in our number 1 seed. He seems to be the one who's kind of been moving up and kind of being looked at as that number 2 as Drake May maybe had some analyst fatigue and has started to kind of slide down. I mean, there was some articles out there that Drake May could potentially challenge Caleb Williams for the number 1 spot. But we decided to put Jayden Daniels here in the number 1 spot. And when we had to go down to like the ninth guy, there was a couple different options, but we ended up going with Sam Hartman out of Notre Dame. And how would you kind of compare these two? We understand a lot of people are going to just wash this away and be like Jayden Daniels hands down.
Yeah.
But could you imagine a scenario where Washington would prefer getting Sam Hartman and maybe lining up the roster with other players?
Well, if you kind of compare it to again, back to the whole March Madness bracket, and last year, a 16 seed upset a number 1 seed when Purdue lost. Now I had them in my Final Four as well last year and screwed the pooch on that. And then a few years ago, of course, Virginia lost as a 16 seed.
Number
And
one seed,
so,
yeah.
or I mean, as a 1 seed, yeah, to a 16 seed. And so it's kind of like that. I think Jayden Daniels is that easily that number 1 seed. And Sam Hartman is kind of, we had to find somebody almost to fit into that 16 seed. In our case, it's the 8 seed, but he's the classic from maybe 20 years ago when they first started the play-in games and they matched up 2 16 seeds against each other to see who's going to go up against the number 1 overalls. He'd be like that guy. So is there a chance that he's going to upset Jayden Daniels in this poll that we're going to have? Yeah, there's kind of a chance, but not really. It's probably going to be a 95 to 5%. And the 5% might be those just trying to do shtick just
Yeah.
to kind of get some
There,
attention.
Jayden Daniels definitely has his detractors, and so I expect
Sure.
the ones who are never Jayden Daniels
Yeah.
to kind of be that. And of course, Sam Hartman does have the first name Sam. He's got the initials SH.
Oh,
We're not going to have any howlers, but maybe we've got the hearts for Hartman.
yeah.
And so maybe those people who were Team Sam will continue being Team Sam and be like draft your tackle, build up the roster. Because despite the fact that Sam Hell is gone, I'm still hearing fans, Stoner, of trading back, getting more picks, and then taking a QB later
Yeah.
in the first, or in Sam Hartman's case, it's really a day 3 pick, which would mean you're probably going to stick with Marcus Mariota for a
Yeah.
season, which I don't think is attractive.
Right.
But that's kind of where I think those votes against Jayden Daniels are going to be.
Yeah, I think the Sam Hartman, I mean, I'd actually be surprised if he gets drafted at all. He might be one of those undrafted free agent guys that signs with the team. There's not a lot of great qualities about him. I mean, he's played, I believe, 6 years maybe in college football, or maybe he's played the 5 years and has been in college for 6 years. I mean, he's 25 years old. He's an older guy. He just doesn't have the arm to be an NFL quarterback. And there have been some quarterbacks around who have not had a strong arm, who have
Brock
been,
Purdy.
yeah,
San
Brock Purdy's a
Francisco.
guy. I mean, Drew Brees is a guy. I mean, there's plenty of them that just have the smarts and the ability to understand reading and defense. But I just don't think Sam Hartman's that guy, and I don't think there's any way anybody, definitely not me, has any chance of Sam Hartman upsetting Jayden Daniels in this particular bracket. I'm a Jayden Daniels guy. I think that's who Washington should pick. I'm doing a little bit of a spoiler, but we'll see kind of as it gets down towards the end when he has to go up against maybe a Drake May or even a McCarthy, Nix/Penix, all those guys. Yeah, I mean, Sam Hartman is a classic 16 seed here with really no shot at beating the 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm not going to belabor the point then. He did play 6 years. I do think that he kind of hurt himself with the year in Notre Dame. He was in Wake Forest. He had a couple good years in Wake Forest, and he could have maybe been a better day 3 pick for a team after 2 strong years. He goes to Notre Dame, and he doesn't have a bad season, but really when you make that jump to a more prestigious program, you need to make that jump talent-wise as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. And that's actually something I'm going to talk about Jayden Daniels right now, is he did, because the knock on Jayden Daniels is kind of very similar here. Sam Hartman playing 6 years, Jayden Daniels playing 5 years. Well, Jayden Daniels improved every year he was in. And he was at Arizona State and he goes to LSU. So he's playing in the SEC, and all he did was get better. And his Heisman season, the season he's coming off on here, is phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. And I understand there's some things that kind of detract away from him. So what are those things that would cause him to be upset in this bracket, Stoner?
I mean, there are a few knocks against him. I think the biggest knock against him is overall is his size. And you can say all you want that he's 10 pounds or 15 pounds lighter than, say, a Drake May, for an example. But that's a lot when you're talking about the NFL and you're talking about taking the type of hits that he took in college, because he runs very upright when he gets out of the pocket, and he doesn't know yet how to protect himself. Can he figure that out? Can he learn it? Of course you can, but he hasn't figured it out while he was playing big time college football. That's a little bit of a knock against him. Everything else that you see is he has everything that it takes to be an NFL quarterback. He has not played in an NFL style system. And so you don't know if that's going to translate. There are literally hundreds of guys in the past 10 years who have had the same sort of um, measurables that Jayden Daniels has that didn't make it, because it's not about your size and your ability to throw the ball and all. It's your ability to read a defense and make the anticipatory throws and all of those things that separate the guys with the same measurables as Jayden Daniels. So can he do that? We're going to have to wait and see, but there's very few knocks against him right now, but there are a couple, but not enough to get upset by Sam Hartman in this bracket.
Yeah, 55 scrambles this past season. I did see him take care of himself a little bit. He's pretty smart about getting out of bounds, but when he doesn't manage to do that, he does take a hit. I think that's less of a concern than some people are playing up. But you're going to have to let us know in the comments section, and we'll get a poll up here on our community post here on YouTube. Let us know, who do you want to advance to the next round? And we'll take that into account. I think both of us going with the dominant victory by Jayden Daniels, but you have a say as well right there on our community post. I'm Nathan Perry. That's the Stoner here on the Believe Network. Ref the District, brought to you by Bet Online. And until next time,
I didn't get an answer. What time is Oklahoma playing?
be a fan.